So Pixel 8, Pixel 8 Pro, 699 quid, 999 quid. Whoa! So is the Pixel 8 Pro worth that extra £300? Well, let's test out the camera tech, the gaming chops, the battery life, all of that lovely stuff to see which Google flagship blower might be best for you. Please do plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and let's crack on. So first up, what do you get in that box besides, of course, the Pixel 8 phones? Well, as usual, not a massive amounts. There's no power adapter in there, for one. You do have a Type-C to Type-C USB cable and also a Type-C to Type-A USB adapter. You've got a pokey pin thingy and a teeny wee warranty guide. It's like a little booklet for ants. And that's it for both the boxes, nice and straightforward. And that's the wrong way around. Alright, so here they are, all set up, ready for action. Google's latest 2023 flagships, the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro. And I've got to say, I'm already kind of a wee bit in love with the Pixel 8. It's a 6.2 inch device, pleasingly compact. So much more mini than most of the flagships in 2023. Whereas the Pixel 8 Pro is your more standard 6.7 incher. It is a bit of a hand filler, no doubt about it. And while those displays don't quite go edge to edge, you've got reasonably skinny bezels surrounding the screens. In fact, size aside, these phones are basically identical from the front. But then flip them around to that arse end and you'll notice a few more differences. Google's design, again, pretty similar, but here on the Pixel 8 Pro you will spy a third camera lens, and also you've got that fresh new temperature sensor. Quite an unusual addition, no doubt. You won't get that on the regular Pixel 8. You've got Gorilla Glass Victus front and back on both these blowers, but it is the original Victus here on the Pixel 8, and that's upgraded to Victus 2 on the Pixel 8 Pro. Now both Victus and Victus 2 pleasingly drop resistant, so hopefully neither should shatter if you do happen to fumble them onto a hard floor, although luck does still play a major part in that. However, Victus 2 I've found is more scratch resistant compared with the original Victus, which does tend to get marked up rather easily still. So I would say certainly if you're just going to grab yourself the regular Google Pixel 8, you'll want to slap a screen protector and some form of case on that bad boy to keep it looking lovely. And if you squint a bit closer as well, you'll see that the regular Pixel 8 sports that usual shiny Google finish around back. Whereas here on the Pixel 8 Pro, Google's actually gone with a matte finish for a change. So not reflective, unlike its more miniature sibling. Although both Pixels still get a wee bit mucky when you've been fingering and fondling them for a while, so you'll need to give them an occasional bit of buffing up. Keep them looking box fresh. Right now you've got a choice of 3 colours with the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro. You can grab them both in Obsidian. You've also got a couple of other options including Hazel for the Pixel 8 and Bay Blue for the Pixel 8 Pro. And these are probably my favourite Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro colours, but it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you reckon looks the nicest? And you've got an aluminium frame stretching around the entire edge of both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro. Although in somewhat of a role reversal, it's actually a matte finish here on the regular Pixel 8 and a shiny glossy finish here on the Pixel 8 Pro. And both the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are IP68 water and dust resistant, as you'd expect from flagship smartphones. So you can get as moist as you like, as long as you give them a bit of a toweling off after, they'll be fine. Now on the software side, as you'd probably imagine, not much difference between these two. You've got the fresh new out of the oven Android 14 slapped on both these blowers, with a very familiar look and feel to anyone who's used Android 13. And Google is very generously offering 7 full years of OS and security updates. So I'll take you right the way through to 2030 and Android version 21. I mean, I'll be almost 50 when these things are out of support, and considering my diet mostly consists of beer and pork scratchings, I'm not even sure I'll live that long. But anyway, you've got all the usual fantastic features packed in here, including some excellent customization. You can now further personalize the lock screen, for instance. You can even generate your own wallpapers using AI now. It's a bit random, but there you go. The excellent personal safety features have been updated, so the Pixel 8s can literally save your life. And of course, you've got loads of great camera tools packed on this thing now. But anyway, my Pixel 8 tips and tricks guide will be going live shortly after this unboxing video, and in there I'll be banging on about all the great Android 14 and Pixel exclusive features. So definitely go check that out for a full in-depth look at all the best new bits. And while that Android 14 experience is very similar on the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro, there are a couple of additional bits that you'll find here on the Pro, including of course that temperature sensor, and a few camera bits which we will be exploring later. And both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro sport Google's Titan M2 security processor, same as the previous generation. You got the same optical fingerprint sensor built into the displays on both of these blowers. Operates exactly the same. You've also got face unlock as well, which is less secure, but a decent alternative if your fingers are a bit mucky or whatever. However, this doesn't work particularly well at night time, that's for sure. It doesn't like dim light conditions, so in those sorts of situations, it's fingerprint sensor, otherwise good old trusty pin. And as usual, of course, Google has included its VPN with Google One, so you can turn that on if you're particularly worried about location tracking, anything like that. And the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro offer a choice of storage. You've got 128 or 256 gig options with either. And the Pro model also maxes out at half a terabyte if you're well and truly minted, but that's only available in the Obsidian color. And I believe in the US it actually maxes out at a terabyte. Sadly, not expandable via micro SD as usual on either of these blowers, and in fact there's only room for one SIM card. However, as usual, the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro do support eSIM, which is particularly handy when you're traveling abroad. Now the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro sport an OLED display, though of course the Pixel 8 Pro's a bit bigger, 6.7 inches versus the 6.2 incher on the regular Pixel 8, and they both rock a 20:9 aspect ratio. To keep those visuals sharp on the enlarged Pro display, well, Google has boosted the resolution, so it's Quad HD Plus 2992 by 1344 versus Full HD Plus 2400 by 1080 on the regular Pixel 8. So you'll find that certainly when you're browsing your photo collection or just kicking back with a bit of Netflix, YouTube, whatever, those pictures are pin sharp, absolutely packed with fine detail. Because it's OLED tech, of course, naturally you have really crisp contrast as well. Fairly poppy colours, although not too in your face. And you once again have HDR streaming support here. I believe it's just HDR10, no Dolby Vision as usual. However, the Pixel 8 Pro's display is noticeably brighter when you max it out. It's 2400 nits versus 2000 nits here on the regular Pixel 8. Here they are on maximum brightness. You can see serious power spaffed out by the Pro. But thankfully I still have bugger all problem seeing what's going on with that Pixel 8's display when it's maxed out. Even when it's bright sunshine glaring off that screen, no issues with visibility whatsoever. And both of these displays max out at 120Hz refresh as well, so flicking through the UI, creamy smooth. However, on the Pixel 8, it basically cycles from 60Hz to 120Hz, depending on what you're up to. You do have to enable that in the display settings. Whereas here on the Pro, it's LTPO tech, so that means the refresh rate can dip to almost static levels to help preserve the battery life when you're just viewing a photo or something like that. If you were hoping for a bit of headphone jack action on either, well, you're seriously optimistic, but yeah, sadly not the case. But you do have flawless Bluetooth streaming and a built-in stereo speaker setup, so let's check it out side by side, starting with the Pixel 8. And they've hilariously decided to take the blame everything on Mark Zuckerberg line of defense, which I actually kind of enjoyed because that dude, seriously, he's the human equivalent of irritable bowel syndrome. And now let's check it out here on the Pro. In fact, even using the word human is perhaps being a bit too kind. He's basically what you would get if it was physically possible for a lizard to reproduce with the herpes virus. So you probably won't be completely shocked to hear that the Pixel 8 Pro's speaker setup does blast out audio a bit louder than the regular Pixel 8. Makes the most of that extra space. However, there is a bit of a sacrifice to the clarity on that max volume. It's a little bit more distorted compared with the max volume on the Pixel 8. So now onto the ever-tasty subject of performance, and the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are both powered by Google's Tensor G3 chipset as manufactured by our great mates Samsung. And it's backed by 8 gigs of RAM here in the regular Pixel 8, 12 gigs in the Pixel 8 Pro. I gotta say though, when it comes to the performance, there's not even a gnat's chuff between these two blowers. Now, everyday running is creamy smooth, apps just open up instantly, and as far as gaming goes, well again, either will suit. As usual, I braved a good bit of Genshin Impact to really test out the grunt on the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro, and I found that the frame rate stayed pretty stable on the maxed out graphics settings, just the occasional little dip and stumble here and there, but that was on both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro, no discernible difference. But a highly playable experience, the screen's nice and responsive and of course completely flat as well, which is well suited to gaming. And I did find that both of these phones did heat up a bit as well. They got pretty warm after around half an hour-ish of gameplay. And again, didn't really notice the difference between the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro. Even though the Pro is much bigger, it still heats up like a bit of a bugger when it's under duress. But thankfully not to the point where I noticed any real throttling of that performance. It was still a tiny little bit juddery here and there, but nothing major. And both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro serve up the usual Google game dashboard. It's a pretty basic gaming mode, truth be told. We still don't have optimization for the likes of Genshin Impact, unfortunately. What you can do is stream your game live to YouTube if you don't suck as badly as I do. You've got frame rate measurement, you've got a do not disturb tool, and once enabled you can drag out a wee gaming toolbar like so, which allows you to quickly screenshot the action or get some screen record on the go as well. Oh, and if you're a bit of a benchmarking fan and you were hoping for a bit of a benchmarking comparison between the 8 and the 8 Pro, well, Google has perhaps wisely blocked access to the likes of Geekbench. Yeah, they ain't dumb. And as for your battery life, well, unsurprisingly, the Pixel 8 sports a smaller battery compared with the Pixel 8 Pro. It's a 4,575 mAh capacity cell versus 5,050 mAh. And so far I found that the battery drain on the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro, just for everyday mixed use, has been about the same, especially if you bump up the resolution on the Pro, make full use of that Quad HD Plus panel. And so far in my first few days with the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro, that battery life has been excellent. I'm talking around 7 to 8 hours of screen on time per charge. That's with plenty of mixed use, good bit of camera action, and some audio streaming in the background too. But stay tuned for my in-depth Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro review for a full account of all of that shenanigans. And out of interest, I also did a side-by-side battery drain test with this Pixel pair. I knocked off the mobile data, just had Wi-Fi only. I downloaded Avatar and then played that movie side by side on these two blowers, and both of them lasted the same amount of time, almost 13 full hours of video playing, until a full battery was drained. And when it comes to recharging these blowers, well, you got 30 watt wired charging on the Pixel 8 Pro, 27 watts on the Pixel 8, though of course this generally fills up a wee bit faster as it is a smaller capacity battery. And you got wireless charging support on both the Pixel 8s as well. Again, the Pro model's slightly faster with 23 watt wireless charging versus 18 watt on the Pixel 8. So let's finish this delightful wee Pixel 8 versus Pixel 8 Pro unboxing and hands-on comparison. Let's squint to that camera tech, and both of these flagships sport a 50 megapixel Octa-PD camera with f1.68 aperture and optical image stabilization. There is a slight difference when it comes to the autofocus, however. You've got multi-zone laser detect autofocus here on the Pro versus single-zone autofocus on the Pixel 8. But the good news is, so far, this seems to have made bugger all difference, really. The focus is just as nippy there on the Pixel 8 as it is here on the Pro, even in quite low light conditions, even when the subject is a bit of a distance away. And in a completely blind comparison test, you would really struggle to tell whether it was the Pixel 8 or the Pixel 8 Pro which took each shot. They both boast the same image processing smarts as well as the same primary camera hardware. So you get very similar realistic, natural looking tones and textures in pretty much any lighting conditions. However, as you'll see if we swipe up for the camera settings, you do have the extra Pro mode here on the Pixel 8 Pro, which allows you to shoot at 50 megapixel resolution, whereas you're stuck at 12 here on the regular Pixel 8. Obviously works best in brighter conditions. You've also got the option of shooting raw quality photos. And also, while you've got the option of having simple zoom controls here on the Pro, you can also change that up to a manual lens selection instead, which allows you to jump straight from the ultra wide to the wide to the telephoto. And the Pixel 8 Pro also has a pretty big advantage over its smaller sibling with its 48 meg telephoto shooter capable of 5 times optical zoom. So this makes a serious difference when you are cropping into a shot. And on that Pro you can zoom up to a maximum level of 30 times, whereas the Pixel 8 tops off at 8 times zoom. You've also got an ultra wide option on both of these pixels, a 48 meg quad bay on the Pro versus a basic 12 megapixel ultra wide angle on the Pixel 8. Seems to be the same as last year's sensor. You've got a wider aperture on the Pro as well, but both offer autofocus smarts. And swap to video mode and you can shoot up to 4K resolution footage on both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro at 24, 30 or 60 frames per second. Got that 10-bit HDR action as well. And again, that Pro model has got the advantage of that telephoto shooter, which you can switch to mid-recording, really zoom into the action from afar. But besides that, you've got excellent stabilization, nice crisp visuals, strong audio capture from all directions, and both the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro work pretty well in lower light conditions. Although there is a night side video mode coming just exclusively to the Pixel 8 Pro, which should help to brighten and sharpen up those images at nighttime. And then last up, flip to the selfie cam. You've got a 10.5 megapixel shooter up front on both the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro. Although you only get autofocus here on the Pro, it is fixed focus on the regular Pixel 8. And anyway, if you want full detailed analysis of the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8 Pro's camera tech, exactly how good they are day and night and what the differences are between them, definitely check out my full in-depth camera review. I'll be testing them out side by side. That should be going live straight after this video. And of course, as usual on both of these Google handsets, if you hop on into the Google Photos app, you've got loads of great editing tools that can really help you to rescue a quite cack shot. So for instance, you've got the fresh new Magic Editor, and this uses clever bollocks AI shenanigans to remove distractions, move your subjects about, improve the backgrounds, etc. You've also got the slightly clunkily titled Audio Magic Eraser, which can just help to reduce all the crowd bullshittery going on in the background. Any gusty wind, any stuff like that will just ruin the audio basically. But anyway, as I say, check out that full camera review and comparison for more on all of that jazz. And there you have it, my lovelies. That in a tasty wee nutshell is the Pixel 8 Pro versus the Pixel 8 regular model. And as I say, 300 quid between these bad boys. So is it worth the extra cash for that Pro model with its upgraded hardware tech? You've got the temperature sensor, a sharper, brighter display, and a few other upgrades here and there. Be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Stay tuned for my in-depth review on both of these mighty Google flagships as well. Full tips and tricks guide for an in-depth look at Android and those Pixel exclusive features. And for more of the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a bloody wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you.